The $50,000 answer to all of this, it starts with the great toe.
Fucking dude, Gore-Tex condoms need to happen. I would buy one just because it'd be boss. It's probably reusable.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, I mean, how incapable are you of running right now?
It's not that I would be incapable of running. It's more of if I run.
10 minutes, you got pain.
Not today.
Tomorrow.
30 minutes when we're done, I'll be like limping around. But I'm fine to do it just to figure all this out.
Yeah. Well, so we're gonna move you for 20 seconds in one direction. I'm gonna get 3 views: side, back.
Don't worry
front.
about my health.
Oh, I'm not worried about your health.
I mean, because I'll do some dumb shit on my own anyway for no reason. I'd rather do some dumb shit for a reason.
For a good reason?
I started working with Rich. I listened to his podcast, starting in 2014 because I was doing all these long runs.
Just walking.
Super bored, didn't know what else to do with my life. Started to come working with him, and he took me down from like a 16-minute 5K to a sub 15-minute 5K. And that's massive, at least, when you're already a very high-level runner. And he's been working with me for years, and the most that I got out of him is he's able to take my body and make it as efficient as possible. And I think what he's going to do with Ryan right now is basically take his body from an inefficient pattern and make it to an efficient pattern and make him a runner.
I mean, at the end of the day, I can tell just the way you're moving, cadence, such and such. The video helps a lot, and we'll see what's going on.
Man, I love it.
Cool, sticky on that GoPro. You shipped out all the VO2 stuff?
Yeah.
Fucker. That'd been so cool.
Can you make whatever speed it was at, can you make it a little bit faster?
I can. A lot of people will tell me, I run different when I run faster, and they don't.
Okay, then.
What they do is the mistakes that they're making become worse.
Okay.
So, for example, you're doing a lot of things that I don't like about the way you're landing, and for me to just make it faster is just going to put more stress on you, and it's just dumb.
You put whatever speed you want, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to as soon as you let go. Okay, go ahead and grab the rails and pop out. Wonderful. Do you ever use floss or anything like that? Food floss? No?
I have in the past, but...
Should be a regular habit.
Okay. See, I feel like I'm really landing mid-foot, too.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch the video. You land like this every time.
Boom.
And so I've already picked up that there's more extension. You're reaching further with one side than you are the other. You can see this here. Watch.
Do we know which side it is?
Watch. So look at the hip angle here, where your knee is relative to your heel right now.
That's my bad knee.
But let me just get a little closer look before I start running my mouth. Looks like you're reaching further with the right side.
Yeah, you're right.
And then we're loading the posterior chain. We're pulling, right? So you're planting and pulling, planting and pulling. So you're opposing your forward progress by putting a brake on. You're colliding, you're recovering, you're pulling. All of which we don't want to do.
Yeah.
The good news is because you're so strong, everything else looks pretty clean. You're not everting, you're not laying out to the outside. I didn't see any excessive pronation in the way you're moving. That's all good stuff. But you're insulting that joint every time you make contact with the ground. That's basically what's happening here.
Do you think it's appropriate for me to be wearing, 1, a heel lift, and 2, shoes with cushioning in them more than like these flat? Like, what do you think about real running shoes versus flat shoes?
Well, I'm glad.
That's a big question.
I love you saying that because I've never heard that before. Real running shoes versus flat shoes. What you want to do is you want to gain as much information from the earth as possible when you make contact, okay? And the more material you put between you and the ground, the less information you're going to gather.
So you like barefoot running then?
Well, I think that barefoot rope running is more appropriate, but our environment doesn't allow for it. We can't just decide to be barefoot runners in this environment. You got nails, you got broken glass, all this stuff. And the other end of it is, I've been doing this before Born to Run came out and everybody was, shifting to Vibrams and starting to try to be monkeys and whatever. And all of a sudden people drink the Kool-Aid. They go, oh yeah, I got to be barefoot. If I'm not barefoot, then I'm really screwing it up. So they take the shoes off, but they have those pink, nasty little feet that have been hiding in those cushioned shoes all their lives. And they throw themselves into this hard concrete and they're not prepared for it. And the shoes that I wear are very minimal. I weigh 255 pounds thereabouts, and it ain't muscle. Mm-hmm. And I could go out, I ran 4 or 5 miles day before yesterday, and I have a 0 drop, very minimal shoe. I have no joint issues relative to that.
So you like the 0 drop then?
Well, you have to own it. You have to get to a place where you can deal with it. You just can't, it's just like I'm saying you can't decide, okay, I'll be a caveman, where I used to be this pussy in these, cushy shoes all my life, and expect that transition to just take hold. It won't. The problem is that you're identifying with the importance of being in a flatter shoe, but you're still landing on your heel. So your contact point's on your calcaneus, which is putting the load in your bone structure as opposed to the musculature. And so I'm going to walk you through why and what needs to have happen, and I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to get you to do it, and I'm probably going to get you to run pretty fast and come away from it not feeling any pain. Turn around and just jump down. Nobody had to tell you to land on your forefoot.
Yeah.
Intuitively, you landed where you're going to be able to take the load most effectively, which is in your muscle and your tendon ligaments and your soft tissue, right?
So technically, a cushioned shoe is not necessary if you're hitting the ground right.
It's actually an impediment. It's getting in the way of you doing the right things. So you want to have good reaction, and the best reaction you could possibly gather is from barefoot, functional or not. All right, so let's just take this frame by frame. Okay, so yeah, so now you see how you're starting to list out to the outside on that left side?
Supinate a little bit? Is that what it is when you go to the outside?
Well, you start that way, and then the pronation would be here. And so here I told you don't pronate, and there's a little bit going on. It's not excessive, but it's a little bit going on. See what's happening here? It's not crazy. So you're pretty neutral on the right. Look at how the foot comes straight through. And you're going to catch the outside edge on this left side. And then you're going to get that late stage pronation.
Can I see the other foot again?
Yep.
Or just keep going forward?
Yep. Watch.
So that one doesn't supinate at all, a little bit.
Well, no, you're neutral. You're going straight through.
That's good, right? Most people don't have that.
No, I know. I said that earlier. I said it looked clean, other than the fact that you were heel striking. That's what I said. You get all this muscle mass up here. It's kind of impeding your ability to get a nice clean arm swing. So you have a tendency to want to rotate.
Yeah.
And the rotation is what's going to lend you to lead to the outside edge of your foot. The $50,000 answer to all of this, it starts with the great toe. You need to be able to have good dorsiflexion off that first joint. And if you can't do it, then what happens is you're inhibited. You're not capable of firing that hallucis longus, which is this first run of muscle from the great toe to the heel.
I'm good with anatomy. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, all right. So the point being is that when I get into flexion like this, I'm contracting. And so that gives you medial stability in the foot. Mm-hmm. So that keeps you from having the knee drop in, having the ankle drop in, and then obviously right up the chain, you're getting it in the hip and what have you. So you want to be able to have good mobility here. I've gone crazy having my athletes work that mobility in that great toe.
I think I had pretty good mobility there.
Yeah, well, again, your problem isn't at the end of the day, this chain of events, you should land, when you run, obviously you already know you want to be on your forefoot. So you should be leading out with your knee, And when you make contact with the earth, you should start with your great toe, and then by the time your body gets to that heel, my glute's firing. So right up the chain, I've just synergistically loaded the muscle.
So landing on the toe first, not even the midfoot.
Well, I mean, you don't need to be sharply onto your toe, but you definitely want to get to a position where there's flexion here and then setting down. By the way, if the shoe is impeding your ability to have that flexion there, that becomes a problem. And so what ends up happening when your arch starts collapsing is you see podiatrists and they start putting arch supports in there, orthotics, right? Mm-hmm. But naturally what should happen is you should have the ability to get that range of motion so your foot will be neutrally stable. And so the joint is now going to be allowed to line up with the great toe, the knee, the hip, and so on. So what I'm going to have you do, we're going to do this, and I have these tricks that I use to really get you to this cool place fast. So what I want you to do is just stand right there in front of me, facing me, and square your feet underneath your hips. And I just want you to just start flexing the joint. Just flex the knees forward. Yep, like that. Cool.
So I guess you're against orthotics too?
Well, orthotics are appliances that are trying to take responsibility for what your foot is designed to do. And there's no such thing as something that is going to be better than you were designed to do. So I'm not into the appliance. By the way, there's no running shoe that has been shown or proven to improve somebody's running or keep them from injury. Just clear the ground, so get your mojo working. Now see, you keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to change. I just want you to see what I see you doing. I don't want you to do. You're kind of coming back here. You're whipping back. I want you to have that knee come up and forward and set the heel straight, forefoot to heel. Okay? A little quicker. Forefoot to heel. Dude,
it's interesting. I actually did want to hit my heel kind of when I think about it.
So this is a neurological exercise. This is putting your head in the appropriate space for your feet to make contact with the earth. And the repetition, it becomes easier and easier and easier. It starts to be more of what I need you to do. So you're going to run in place like that. Yep. Now you're still marching in place. Yep. Now I want you to bring your feet a little closer together. Good. Perfect. Keep that up. That's awesome. Okay, so the idea is not to pick your foot up any higher than necessary and making sure your heel makes contact with the earth before you pick up again. It looks pretty good.
Okay. Don't bring it up higher than necessary?
Right. And really try to accentuate that heel slap down because that's going to give you that loading pattern up through your hip. Doing good. The arm swing's a little jacked up. So try to imagine what you're looking to do is draw it back to grab your gun and shoot. Grab your gun and shoot. To think in terms of elbowing the person behind me, and then you're drawing yourself forward. Here's where we start to have some fun. This is going to be awesome. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to guide you right into a midfoot run, a forefoot run. So we're going to keep you on that metronome just like you were doing, and the floor is going to start sliding beneath you. Your function is just to get up off the ground, okay? Yeah, now try to make sure those heels touch. Look straight ahead, down the road. Now you're kicking your heels up behind you a little bit. I need your knees to go forward and your heel to come all the way to the ground.
I don't like hitting my heel on the fucking ground.
The right side? Did you tell me it was your left knee that was jacked up?
My left one, yeah.
Yeah, your right foot's the one that's not doing it. So look, your left foot's...
Well, because I'm doing it on the left and it hurts, and then I don't do it on the right. Or maybe, I don't know, fucking something. I'll keep trying to do it.
Work with me.
It's just hard, yeah. I'm definitely...
Don't look down. Listen to the beat. You don't dance, right?
I'm fucking terrible at dancing.
Step.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on, let's go. Giddy up.
There you go.
Quicker. Now you're there. Stay there.
I just can't hit my heel. I don't know
Stay
why.
there. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Stay on the beat. You're slowing down. There you go. Nice. Now, let's get this worked out. Nice. Just stay on the beat. You're starting to slow down on me again. Now pick your knees up just a little bit for me. Nice.
Slower.
Not really.
Okay, I want you to take a break, so reach back, grab the rails, jump to the outsides. All right, so I purposely will have people take a break right about now because first it feels really odd. All of it's just like, right? And then you take that little break, and then when you do it again, it gets a little easier, more natural.
Okay.
And we're going to progressively get into speed. And now realize this is an artificial environment. This belt is what's called rate independent. Regardless of what you do, it's going to move, right?
Okay.
So all you're doing is getting out of the way. If you were on the ground, what's going to happen is you're going to get eccentric energy from this hip extension because you hit the ground and pushed your body forward, which is going to create what? Flexion.
Uh-huh.
So the extension, the knee comes back. You don't have to think about it. Here it's leaving you, so you're losing some of that opportunity. So we have to artificially create it to keep up with the speed. So when you hear me say pick up your knees, it's because you start to falter, and then what you start doing is intuitively you'll start to reach to try to get the ground ahead of you to try to pull yourself forward because that's your natural inclination.
Okay.
I want you to get rid of the ground. I don't want you to be pulling, I want you to be pushing. I want to be stable, force production, return, stable, force production, return. So the three phases of it are when you eccentrically load, you're isometric for a moment in time, that push off is the concentric phase, return to this eccentric phase again. So you get this rhythm where you're getting rid of the ground. And the more force you get off the ground, the more carry you'll get in the knee. The more carry you get in the knee, the more gravity is going to be at your knee. It's going to give you more force. So now you're getting paid. You're not having to do it. It's just happening, right?
Okay. So am I still trying to like kiss that ground with my heel?
I don't want you to go crazy with it because it will start to happen for you.
Okay.
If you start to really land on it, you'll fuck other stuff up, right?
Okay.
All right, now,
I'm gonna take this off.
your inclination now, if I have you get on the belt moving, is you want to reach out to feel it, and then you're already making a mistake. So I want you just to
Hop
pull
on
up,
and go.
Yeah, pull up and drop right into it, okay?
Okay.
I know it feels really weird, but I want you to try to bring those knees up. That's going to cause you to post that foot closer to your body. Good.
I don't know if I can do that. Really
All
hard.
day long when I do this with people, they feel like their knee is going to hit them in the teeth. Because it's just so, your perception of the effort is so skewed by the unnatural act of trying to encourage that hip flexion. But what you were doing is this much different.
Okay.
I mean, I'm literally, watch me now. When I'm yelling at him, was it moving? Didn't see. I mean, maybe a little bit, but perceptively, you sense that you're doing something wrong. It's just not. I'm limited. I can't. You're just not accustomed to it. Just really get weird with it. Just like you were talking about getting like polar opposite here. I want you to really feel that coming up.
It feels like you want sprinter form for this like distance run.
Well, see what's going to. I'm taking you into speed. But you'll start to notice that with time, it will start to become more relaxed. I'm all about mechanics and efficiency and lowering the cost of work.
Yeah.
I don't want you to work harder. Now you're working harder because perceptively everything is so different. Mm-hmm. But it's going to start getting easier and easier. You'll see. When you're outside doing this, that force production off the ground is going to give you that hip extension. The hip extension is just going to bring the knee to you. Only as high as necessary. See, now your left foot is awesome. Your right foot is a little higher and slower. So what you want to do is you want to try to get bilateral equivalence. This timing like this, we'll start to sort this out. There you go, looks good. Let's just stop with the hands way up in here. Stay on the beat. Now don't jump out until I tell you, all right? Just keep bringing those knees up. Bring those knees up. Try to get weird with it. The big mistake everybody makes with their running is they start to put their knee out and then they start to reach ahead of their knee and then they reach down. So now I'm compromising my stability. What I want to do is come up and hit the ground here and get that chain of events I talked about. 4 foot to heel, 4 foot to heel. You need that lower limb to be perpendicular, because then by the time your body gets there, you're standing right over top of it, my glutes firing. And so that your pelvic floor is involved, your core is locked down, the whole thing. Let me remind you what I said. Because we're on a rate-independent surface, the belt is sliding. If I can push off the ground, I'm going to get hip extension. If the ground is moving with my leg, I'm losing that hip energy.
So you need a higher hip.
Well, yeah, you're artificially creating what you're trying to have happen, because at the end of the day, when that knee comes up, you're going to get a little bit of a pause in the action, which is going to allow you to have that speed, and it's going to allow you to post. You're going to let that foot land right beneath that knee. But you had to go here to get it.
Oh, so you have to go higher to get it to the right place.
On the treadmill.
Okay.
Outside, you won't have to do it. You'll start noticing it just comes to you. But you have to put it in your head that every time you step down, that you're going to go 4 foot to heel, and boom, I'm locked.
So the only reason I'm actually going fast now is because of my lean.
Yeah.
Because if you're upright this way, then...
Well, I'm hanging on. I'm an old man.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, if you're upright and your foot comes underneath you, there's no momentum.
Right. But so the point being is that when I want to initiate speed, I'm going to drive through here, and I want to step right onto my 4 foot. I want to load so I get that glute to fire. Glute's going to fire, right? As opposed to what most people do, they lean back and they whip their foot out ahead on their body like this. They're working against inertia, and they're causing a braking action, and they're...
I'm kind of leaning forward though and still pulling though.
Well, but what you're doing is, the conundrum for you is you're leaning more from the hip and whipping your heel in front of you, and that's your collision.
Okay, so my whole body's not leaning, just my hips are?
Yeah, yeah. So your perception is you're here, and you are, but the rest of it isn't.
Ah.
Yeah. So you want all of that to come with you and just drive straight down through it. And that's what this belt's helping you to do.
So I need to pull my hips underneath me.
Not necessarily tuck them, just drive them towards your shoulders.
Okay.
A lot of people, when you tell them that, they drive their shoulders back towards their hips. It's not the same thing. You want to be here. You want to feel that come.
So if I want to start running again, and I haven't ran in years, every once in a while with my group classes that I coach, I'll do some runs with them, and then I'm like, fuck.
It hurts.
If I want to run now, do you think it's a good idea for me to maybe just go on like the hard sand on the beach and work on my running?
I don't think the surface has nothing to do with it. Because once you start to engage the appropriate system, then you're good. That's what this is for. This whole system is designed so that you're going to be good.
So maybe just go out and just run like a mile at a time and just keep working on it?
I would, yeah. And you know what, you got a treadmill?
No.
Then what I would do, look at that. What I would do is I would get that metronome going. You need the metronome because your frequency is going to slow down.
What's the metronome?
Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
It's called Metro Timer. You get an app.
Oh, that
Metro
click,
Timer.
click, click, click,
Yeah,
click.
yeah.
So get that while I'm running.
Yes. And I hold on to my phone. You could actually buy, if you go on to like Amazon.com and pull up metronome for like $20 or something like that. You get this little dude. All it does
Clicker
is
and
click.
just put it on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you need.
And that should just be like 1, 2, 1, 2,
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2,
Yeah,
1, 2.
180
Okay.
strides per minute. Or if you could sometimes just set them at 90, it's like 1 foot or the other.
Okay.
But the point of the matter is, you want to first get into that rhythm where you feel that tapping is happening, and then just start moving. And just keep it. Don't worry about how fast you go. Just be more conscientious about the fact that you're getting 4 foot to heel, 4 foot to heel, and then progressively start to introduce more and more speed. And you'll start noticing, let's do it without. I want to see if you can do it without this. Jump out of there. tangled. What the hell? Let's see some magic now.
Probably don't need this anymore, but whatever. Okay. So now I'm running by myself.
All by yourself.
Just focus on the cadence, dude. That's the most important part.
Exactly. Yeah, forget the knees for a minute.
Okay.
Slower, you don't need to worry about your
Just listen
knees.
to the noise.
Just, I want to, yeah. Go for it now. Even though it's
You're already
slow.
looking way better.
Whew.
Timing.
Free car wash.
A little bit quicker, another opportunity for you to have fun with it.
I love running too. I'd love to get back to it.
Yeah.
I think with the heavy weights and such, the way my knee is, it's just not going to happen anymore. And I'll have to live with that. But to be able to go out and run would be great. It's a good feeling just to go out and run.
Staying on top of it is important. I mean, if you get to a place where structurally you're not causing problems for yourself, more problems for yourself, I should say, you get more out of it. I mean, you can get more out of it. You just can. I mean, I see it all the time. You know, and because running badly is really bad for your body. And it's funny because people say, well, don't run because it's bad for your knees. No, it's not. Running like shit's bad for your knees, right? If you run well, it shouldn't be a problem for you. I mean, we're designed to run. That's what we're supposed to do. You know?
I know. I see so many people sometimes where like they run and their legs come out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
I see it all. I see it all.
it's really bad.
And I, you know, people think that I go around like a Nazi and I chase them around and tell them what they're doing wrong. I don't say anything to anybody if I know them. You know, they ask me, I'll talk about it. But generally, I leave people alone unless they pay to play and we'll.
Do you think, what do you think about running on soft sand? Not hard sand, but soft sand.
It's not a problem to run on varying surfaces. Is it better to run on soft sand? Not necessarily.
I've heard people say it's bad for your like tendons and stuff because you're very unstable.
Yeah. Stability is a function of the way you land. If you land stable, whatever surface you land on, your body will adapt. If you jump onto something hard, your body becomes supple. You jump on something supple, your body becomes hard. Your body reacts to the environment. That's the way it works. The trick is to, on a flat surface, any flat surface, put on a pair of running shoes and be able to run and not make mistakes. Because then you can wear whatever you want to wear.
Where can everybody find everything about you?
My website, naturalrunningcoach.net.
Naturalrunningcoach.net.
Or they can go to diazhumanperformance.com.
So you have those two websites, and then you have a podcast?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Natural Running Network.
Natural Running Network?
.com, yeah.
And then do you have any social media?
Yeah.
What do you have?
Instagram is at DiazHP, DIAZHP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the people out there who get excited about this video.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. I hope you guys learned a lot. I definitely did. Check out all his stuff, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cool.